Yes guys, welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102, a special update for you again, and actually this is not the Game On challenge. I've actually thought I'd do one of these on the Freeman. Now we had a session on the Freeman yesterday and it was a really good session, to be honest with you, because we're only barely getting 1 or 2 sessions in a week, so when we do get to play we make the most of it. But I felt that this was necessary because I can't let Pep get away with this. We've all played CM over the years, haven't we? And we've all done this and done that, and we've all dropped bollocks when we've played CM. We've all, made a mistake, maybe subbed the wrong player on, or fucking put the wrong goalie on, or player come back from injury and you forgot to put him on. We've all made minor errors, that sort of shit. But yesterday was a fucking new one. Yesterday was a brilliant one from Pep. So I'm not going to apologise to you for this one, Pep. Now, should point out, before I tell you this, Pep denies this. He says this is not the case. My perspective to that, bollocks. So basically, right, we are now coming up to the halfway stage of season 136. It is a World Cup year. The year is going to be 2150, and it's the World Cup. In fact, I think we're into the year. So basically, the World Cup groups have just been announced. Now, cast your mind back that I am Holland, Ian is England, and Pep is Sweden. So just to remind yourself, Pep is a European champions with Sweden. Did a remarkable job with Sweden, I felt. Anyway, so the World Cup groups have just been drawn. And I'm thinking, okay, not that the international side of things bothers me. It's almost like a little bit of a fucking side hobby. So I look at my group, okay. I look at Ian's group, okay. Can't find Pep. And I'm thinking, shit, Pep must have been booted. So I thought, okay, then I realised Pep hasn't been booted. And I'm like, and I saw Sweden and they weren't coloured. So I thought, what the fuck? I then realised that Pep has left Sweden. He left them only a couple of weeks before this draw was made. And I'm thinking, okay, he's gone to Germany. Strange. Then I realised he's not at the World Cup. So I said to Pep, so Pep, let me get this right, you left Sweden and went to Germany? He goes, yeah. I went, but they're not at the World Cup. You'd already qualified for the World Cup with Sweden. And he goes, and there was a big fuck off delay before he responded. And he said, yeah, but I didn't know if there was what jobs would come at the end of the World Cup. Firstly, bollocks. We all know that after a European Championships or a World Cup, most, if not all, of the international jobs come available. We all know that. We also know that the flaws in CM when it comes to international is predominantly with the South American and African teams when they qualify for the World Cup and then they sack their manager. I've seen it loads, I'm sure you all have, but you don't really ever see it with European teams. Now this is what I think is, Pep saw the Germany job come up because they just sacked their manager shortly after the qualifying had concluded and they hadn't made it. And Pep thought, oh, well, they'd have qualified because he's been Germany several times. So he got the Germany job and he said, he goes, no, he insists that he knew that they weren't at the World Cup. And I said, no fucking way. Because I even said to him, I says, look, I'm going to be resigning at Holland at the end of the World Cup regardless. I said, I don't believe you. He goes, no, seriously. I went, okay, whatever, you lying fucking bastard. So that is one hell of a bollock drop. But his pride will not let him admit it. And I get that, I totally do. In terms of an update on the game yesterday, well, it was a session to forget for Ian. He had a horrendous session. Slipped up against AI a couple of times. Funnily enough, he beat Chelsea. Chelsea, of course, are the biggest competitor other than ourselves. But what really fucking fucked this session up was the semi-final of the League Cup. I was lucky to get Doncaster and Pep and Ian clashed with each other. That's what happens when we get to the semi-finals of any competition. It's always about, two of us are going to land each other. And Pep won the first leg 5-0. And the bizarre thing is that Pep, he was 3-0 up. He was 3-0 up. He had a red card. And I thought to myself, okay, if Ian can get one back now, or something like that. And then he went on to win 5-0. So a lot of work to do for Ian in the second leg there. I won mine against AI second tier, first leg. The FA Cup, I've landed Ian in the FA Cup, so it's an all Manchester derby. And in terms of the league, well, I think I got a little bit lucky with the league because I've had a really good run. Ian's, like I say, dropped a few points here and there, and then I played Pep, and I beat Pep 2-1. But to be fair, what happened in my game with Pep is Pep scored a penalty, and I realised my goalkeeper had pulled the player down in the area and got a yellow card. Now, you and I both know, 9 times out of 10, that is a red. That is a fucking red. So that was probably really key. But I went on to win that game. And then a bizarre thing happened. Something had just happened in the game, which I'll tell you more about in a moment. But it was literally a day before what looked like was going to be a crash. And because a certain thing happened, I did not want to go back a week because of this certain thing that happened. I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, so the computer was pausing, and I don't know whether we just had a bit of a dodgy internet connection. And eventually it went. And after all that, Pep lost at home to AI, which was good news for me. But the one thing I was not prepared to do was to go back a week. What I said is, if it's going to crash, it'll crash straight away. It won't keep pause, stop, start, stop, start. But there was something specific I did not want to do, and that was go back a week. And that was because shortly before, so I get the weekly save on, so this happened in a few days before, I purchased a certain player. And obviously the guy saw that. Ian weren't even tracking this guy, so Ian would have seen it. And of course, if we'd gone back a week, those guys, Ian would have known who to go for. Pep would have had another stab at him. And it's a very well-known Colombian striker. The goal machine, the new regen of Falco has arrived. Now, you may recall one of the previous videos I said that we might not be able to get his regen because it looked like the bug had hit, which totally fucking pissed on my chips because he retired. So he retired. I located his regen. And I've located him for a while, but he's never been interested in me. And then I saw him arrive on my interest list, so I picked him up for 5 million. I don't need a striker, but he's 23. He's a Colombian goal machine. We all know, anyone that's followed this story know exactly what he's capable of. And this is really the intent that I'm going to stay at Man City with this signing. Pep was tracking him. I was always confident of beating Pep to him in terms of offering a contract. I wouldn't have been confident to go head to head with Ian. I think Man United have that equal reputation. With all due respect to Pep, I don't think some of them have the reputation that we have at either Manchester club. Champions League, we're all looking good as we've gone into the second phase. The World Championships took place this year. Chelsea, who won the Champions League last season, they were in it. They won it for the third successive time. They beat Leicester in the final. Leicester won the UEFA Cup last season. And that's it. That's where we're at. It was a really good session yesterday. I say really good session. If I'd lost loads of games, I probably wouldn't be doing this video. So, I'm being a bit biased. But that's it from me, guys. That's it on the free man for a little bit of time now. Till next time, take it easy.